life of a special education teacher is both love and war. Love, because learners with disabilities have this uniqueness that will make you love them and care for them even more. And war, because every time we are inside our classrooms, it's like we are soldiers deployed in a battlefield. And like the soldiers, we need to be equipped with armors so that we could be able to face and perform our roles in educating the minds of our learners with disabilities. We can still remember during our first few months as a special education teacher. Oh, what's with a long face?
I'm so tired. It's like it's always been so hard for me. And every day it's getting harder and harder. My kids are not listening, they're not motivated, they always cause fights, arguments, and all.
Oh, okay. It's just normal because you're just new in special education. But have you heard the evidence-based interventions?
What's that?
Evidence-based interventions are practices or programs that have peer-reviewed, documented empirical evidence of effectiveness. Evidence-based interventions used a continuum of integrated policies, strategies, activities, and services whose effectiveness has been proven or informed by research and evaluation. So basically, there are 4 types of evidence-based intervention. But make sure that before you start your class, you have stated the coping strategies, the expectations, and the rules inside your classroom to make sure that your class is well regulated. So the first type of evidence-based intervention is what we call the peer-mediated intervention. Peer-mediated interventions require students to implement teacher-selected instruction for their peers as opposed to the more traditional method of teacher-led instruction. One example is peer tutoring. Students who need remedial support are paired with select tutors, perhaps highly skilled peers, peers also in need of remedial work, or cross-aid tutors. Each member of the dyad may receive and provide tutoring in the same content area, or tutors can provide instruction in a content area which they are highly skilled.
Oh yeah, peer tutoring. I have this one kid who's really good in the class. He excels academically.
Oh, yeah. So you can use him as a peer tutor, right?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. And we have another type, which is the second type of evidence-based intervention, and it is called self-mediated intervention.
Self-mediated? What is that?
Self-mediated interventions are those in which the students themselves are responsible for providing academic instruction. One example of that is self-evaluation. It is a process wherein a student compares her or his performance to a previously established criterion set by student or teacher. Example, improvement of performance over time, and is awarded reinforcement based on achieving the criterion.
Oh, so you mean they can identify their strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, they can also do that using the self-mediated intervention.
Oh.
And we have this third type of the evidence-based intervention. So it is called the teacher-mediated antecedent-focused intervention.
It's long. What is that?
Teacher-mediated antecedent-focused interventions. An example for that is incorporating student interest, wherein teachers considered student interest in development and content of lesson. And the last evidence-based intervention is what we call the teacher-mediated consequence-focused intervention. Teacher-mediated consequence-focused interventions. You can use token reinforcement system, wherein the teachers provided points or tokens to students for retention of information gained while watching television news. Teacher-mediated interventions are those in which the teacher or an administrator of the intervention, other than the student himself or herself or a peer, takes responsibility for treatment through manipulation of antecedents and or consequences.
Okay, so evidence-based instructions will really help me in making my students motivated during classroom discussions. And at the same time, I can manage their behaviors. Yep, you can do that using the evidence-based interventions. And there are so many examples of it that you can also use. All you have to do is search it on Google. Oh, okay, I'll do that. Thanks.